start. We lower our gaze from a morning sky to the Seven Souls, tired, dirty, and afraid for their lives. The Seven Souls believe that their one chance for survival is a mad dash through the forest to the nearest human bastion, Terkhén. Welcome to Shining in Shadow. What are you guys doing?
I need to grab my bounty and get him to the cart.
Okay, he's like, you can see that he's actually moved and he's been like squirming towards the trail, like trying to move forward, but he's kind of like inchworming along. And you can kind of see the trail of, like he's left, like he's moved ground and dirt and sticks and stuff. And he's just like, he's filthy now. But he's like, he's got like tears running down his face, like streaked in the dirt. And he's just got this like wide-eyed, panicked look in his face. And you like, when you grab him by the collar, he screams through his muffle or his gag. And then like realizes you, has a moment of like, oh, not a monster, and then realizes it's you, and then goes back to being kind of panicked.
Not gonna let anything happen to you. Don't worry, buddy. And I give him a wink.
I think he screams more. I'm not sure. But yeah, do you throw him into the cart, or do you place him into the cart, or help him up into the cart?
I place him into the cart. Where did you get the idea that I'm...
You're drunk. I assume that you're drunk and a little bit less coordinated.
I mean, he's been...
But I guess,
he slept a little.
It's been a while since... I mean, I slept, I fought 2 monsters.
You might have worked that alcohol out of your system. Sobered up
So
a bit.
yeah, I'm also an ardent professional. So pick him up, get him in the cart.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that me, Trist, and Arlen were all kind of with Romaine, the cart driver.
Yeah, who has... he's passed out at this point again. But like he's kind of shaking. He's got like tremors going on. It seems like he's going into shock.
No, so I'm gonna take off my cloak and kind of place it over him just to provide some kind of comfort. And I'm just gonna like ask the other two to help load him into the cart. I'm just gonna be with him the entire time next to him.
Okay. Yeah. You're keeping an eye on him. You've got him in the anti-shock position, knees up and all that whatnot, and he's loaded into the cart. The horses are not attached to the cart yet, so someone's got to figure that one out.
Ethan will be getting that ready, because I honestly don't care what is in the cart. As soon as the horses are connected, I'm leaving.
Oh no!
So I'm doing that.
Okay, so Ekin is getting the carts, or the horses, the cart strapped to the horse. Can't talk. He's getting the horses strapped up to the cart. You've still got Sedgwick's horse. Sedgwick is kind of like he's holding on to his shoulder. I'm gonna steal someone's dice because mine are way on the other side of the table. Actually, Micah, you go ahead and roll a d10 for me. You scared the shit.
3.
You scared the shit out of the cat. A 3? Okay, so Sedgwick kind of like stumbles a bit, and like catches himself on the edge of the cart and like kind of hauls himself up into it and is like resting against like the edge of the cart, breathing very heavily. And he looks very sickly, like he's kind of he's lost a lot of color to his face. His pallor has gone really pale, and he's sweating profusely.
So I'm guessing that Arlen and I are taking direction. Were you gonna help me get him in the cart? Were you gonna follow what Trist said?
Yeah, I'm gonna help you get Romaine into the cart.
No, I agree.
I love his name so much.
I saw Ashley just nod and then realize that she needs to say that she's doing it. Alrighty.
But the most important question is, will Romaine let us?
I'm going to cut that out.
No! No! That's great!
Guys, I have to leave now.
Bye, Caleb.
I quit!
Okay, so you said he was by the cart or by the horse?
Sedgwick. He's gotten himself up into the cart.
Okay, well then, once we get Romaine into the cart, I'm gonna make sure he's okay.
He's breathing very heavily, and his eyes are like really dilated and unfocused. And he kind of like looks at you. He mumbles something, and you're not even sure if it's in like a common language. Like he kind of just, I couldn't out, and he kind of like leans over and falls further into the cart and passes out.
Oh, great.
He's breathing, but he is definitely
Yeah.
unconscious. Yeah.
But I have no idea probably what. I don't really have medical. I'll probably ask Triss once he gets into the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as he like fell over, I just kind of sigh and reach over and start taking his pulse while like just taking care of everybody back here.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make you roll for it because I have realized that I don't need to make you guys roll for stuff. It's kind of superfluous. I can just kind of keep moving through the story. Anyway, so here we go.
In related news, who's going to be driving? And do we have an idea of who the best would be?
Ekin, I believe.
Oh, I'm driving.
All right.
I believe it has been decided that Ekin is too fast, too furious to not be driving.
I can't promise that I'm good, but Ekin will be driving.
All right.
I position myself toward the front of the cart, just in case it looks like I might need to lend a hand.
Oh, so you're gonna be a backseat driver. Oh.
There is still Cedric's horse, so someone does need to take that.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's probably should be me.
probably.
Okay.
What's the name of his horse?
Are you gonna make me pick that now?
Yup.
Before it gets into danger, of course.
Thanks. Fuck, let's go with something like Morgana.
Morgana?
Morgana.
Morgana the horse.
She's a black horse.
That horse has a better chance of survival than all of us if you're just going on epicness of name.
That's very true.
You're not wrong.
Fucked.
Cut to like 2 hours later, just a lone black horse gallops out of the forest
We cut to a horse
With
at
a
a
wagon
bar.
wheel.
with a single wagon wheel following
It's carrying my sword.
in its mouth.
Nay, motherfucker.
Anyway. So yeah,
Anyway.
you go over to Morgana. Morgana's really skittish around anybody except you. Like even Cedric is like it treats Cedric with respect because Cedric is terrifying, but it actually seems to like you. And
Okay.
so it kind of like it has a panic look in its face, but at the moment you come into the view of it, it kind of simmers down a little. But you can tell that it's kind of frothing at the mouth because it wants to run, but it is a very well trained horse. And so yeah, you go over, you pat it, and you're able to saddle it fairly quickly and hop on up. Good?
I was just gonna say, if I'm done with the horses, I'm just doing the like, we gotta go, and I'm getting in the seat and I'm just going.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna start rolling.
I just wanted to, but right before you do that, I wanted to establish where everyone was, and I'm pretty sure it's Avanon, Morgana, the horse that's going to survive. That's what I have written down in my notes. Tresco is sitting behind Ekin, who is in the driver's seat of the cart. The Bounty, Romaine, Trist, Arlen are all in the back of the cart. Yeah, so everyone is in a
Yes.
place in which they can move forward and not be stranded here.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And Arlen will also be towards the front of the cart just in case navigation needs to happen.
Yeah. So turn left here.
Recalculating.
Recalculating.
Make first legal U-turn.
There may be some traffic due to wisp walkers.
And I think it bears saying that as soon as the cart is actually going at speed, Ekin does turn around and go, "Where are we going? I have no idea where we're going."
Well, there is only one road. You can't really mess
Oh,
it up.
okay. I can't get lost, is what you're saying.
Pretty
Not
much.
without trying.
Yeah.
We end up going backwards and start over. Damn it!
Yeah. So yeah, you guys take off. It's been relatively dry up to this point, but then like as you're starting to move, you feel raindrops kind of hitting. Very light rain for the moment. And you hear like a crash behind you. You turn around and you left all your camping equipment there. And you can see it kind of getting thrashed and thrown about. The trees are all shaking, and then you see the big massive form move through the camp and just destroy everything. Yeah.
Could I roll Demorphine Mysteries on if these creatures can actually cause this storm, or if that's just an unlucky coincidence?
Just an unlucky coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really their mainstay. Their mainstay is eating people.
Well, they're doing a bad job.
Anyway, so Yeah, you see that as you're going off in the distance. You feel like you're far enough away that it may not be able to track you, but you're not entirely certain. Why is Andrew laughing?
Because I'm realizing that we're about to make a clean getaway. Because of the rain! It's a free bath!
Trist, you were examining Sedgwick, who passed out in the back.
Indeed.
You look at the wound that was on his arm where the tail of the wisp walker got him, and it looks infected, but like overall he is physically fine, but it seems like he's just been knocked unconscious, like maybe a paralytic has been involved somehow. So the rain's starting to pick up. It's kind of like a sun shower, and it's weirdly cold rain. And yeah, you're making your way through the forest, and it's eerily quiet. There's not a lot of wildlife around.
Wait, what speed are we going, Egan?
Yeah, what speed are we going, Ekin?
As fast as the cart can go on this road, honestly. I'm
Because
whipping those
I'm
horses.
following at whatever pace.
Yeah.
These wheels are gonna break off.
Well, it's either the wheels are going to break or the horse's ankles are going to break because the road is getting muddy now. Yeah.
I mean, if we need to slow down for the weather, I'll slow down for the weather, but until that point, I'm just going for it.
Yeah, you're probably okay for now, but you don't have much longer of speed. I'd say you probably notice that the horses are starting to struggle a bit, given the fact that they have been running at a full gallop this entire time. Probably for about, what's a horse's average thing? I don't know, like 35 minutes? That sounds like a lot of running at full speed for a
yeah.
horse. I don't know. So yeah, they've been going full tilt for a while. They're definitely tiring, and they slow down to a canter on their own. Avon's horse, who is pulling much less weight, is doing much better. And yeah, so.
Avon's horse, as it runs past, just calls the other horses bitches. Oh, what's your name? Clyde. Huh.
So a sprinter horse can run at its peak speed for approximately 20 to 30 seconds. However, they can run 10 to 15 miles per hour slower than that for about an hour.
Okay, we'll go with that then. So they've been running for an hour. Not at peak, but at a pretty good clip. And you can see the edge of the forest now. Like it's the forest is thinning out a little bit. The trees are looking younger. You actually see wildlife kind of picking up a little. You see random deer, a couple rabbits. Not a whole lot, but they are definitely more present than they have been. One can assume that the wisp walkers have fairly cleaned out the interior of the forest of all living life. Yeah, and you break and clear the forest.
Okay.
Real quick, I'm just gonna kind of take like a note of this. How are we doing on like food and stuff?
You left it all at the camp, as far as I know, unless you tell me otherwise.
Because I wouldn't have thought about that, so I wouldn't grab anything. So as like we're going past like some of the small wildlife, I'm like, should we get some of those?
Yeah, do any of you have a bow? Any of you use bows to hunt?
I do not.
I have a stick.
That's not a bow.
With a pointy end.
I can throw
You
my
do have a
dagger.
spear.
I happen to have a crossbow.
Yeah, Trist has a crossbow. He hands it to Tresco.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why I have all these items.
Yeah. No,
I'm a pacifist by nature.
You feel like there might be some food in the cart, but until you stop, you can't really check. And right now, stopping seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like we left a lot of stuff at the camp in the panic.
Best thing about not having any possessions is you can't leave anything behind, I say, as I just have what I was wearing like I did when we stopped the first time.
Yeah, meanwhile, I left my bedroll. I think I left my bag. All I have is what's on my back.
Yep.
Actually, I don't think I had anything really, so I think I am also good.
Yeah, you got robbed.
You got robbed. So.
We'll get to that.
I have my rations. I stored those on my bounty. They're in his pocket. So if we come to an emergency, that's where I kept my emergency food rations.
That's such a weird place to store your rations.
What, the one thing I will not forget?
I guess that's fair. All right, so yeah, you have enough rations for probably 5 days. If you were to split it amongst the party, 1 day.
Ugh. So yeah.
So, those are for emergencies. Or
So-
me.
or me.
What kind of area are we in? Because you said we broke the forest. Is it mountainous? Is it a field? What are we looking at?
You are looking at kind of that like hilly area before you get to mountains. Like if you were to look to your left, you actually can see the peaks of mountains, the rises, and the path you're going to take is going to lead you to the base of a mountain, which is where Terkén is, and you can actually kind of see it, kind of like a little black smudge at the base of the mountain.
Okay. So it's in sight. That's good.
I'm gonna say that my ration pack was left back at camp, but my actual like mail pouch I kept in.
I would have assumed that as a Varigal, you keep that on your person at all times, like you sleep with that on, or you left it in the cart, one or the other, and I would have been fine with it. But yeah, because those things are like your whole duty. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing I still have is maybe any of the money I had on me.
Yeah, that's very because those are kept on strings that you have attached to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How old are we?
Yeah, so money is typically kept on a string or tether that is like attached to your belt or something like that.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I got infinite money. Fuck ton of money.
I have nothing.
Anyway, so yeah, you guys make your way to Terkén. Terkén is a very well defended town. You actually see, while you're on your way in, you see a few other folks kind of leaving the town. A merchant caravan is on its way back the way you came. Since this is like a kind of a crossroads, because from here you can head south to Tiliark, which is another kind of major town, or north up to Guidre, which is the path that you guys are going to be taking towards Melwyn.
So, should we warn those people? Oh, okay, guess not. Let's keep going, guys.
I'm actually gonna like kind of holler out like to people close by. I'm just like, hey, like if you're going back that direction, be careful. Like I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's not pretty.
Is Romain still passed out, or has he come to?
He is kind of like he's pushed himself into the corner of a cart, and he's like a gibbering idiot right now.
Okay.
His fingers have not like I don't think anyone's really messed with his fingers or what's left.
I was trying to. I was trying to wrap them earlier, like at the last thing, but I don't know if that was even picked up.
No, but I will assume that you did because you are what you are. And yeah, so you've got his fingers bound, but like I said, the last digit of every one of his fingers, not his thumbs, but his fingers, has been like gnawed off. And it's very painful, but he's like sitting in the corner. He's got his like hands pulled up underneath his chin, kind of fetal positioned, and he's just kind of gibbering and mumbling nonsense under his breath.
Do the people passing us maybe see that and take note that this isn't an idle warning? Because the forest is always dangerous.
That was my thought.
Yeah, the forest is always dangerous, but this is something else. Like they don't know if the forest is the cause of that. It's hard to really get anything out of that. You could just be escorting a sick man somewhere.
I get worried about causing panic.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to put on a Sedgwick air as I'm on this horse accompanying this carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know, I feel like that might make people more comfortable.
That's fair. Yeah, so you're kind of like sitting astride Morgana.
Acting way more confident than I am, but I do actually probably need to roll for that because I get a -1 to anything in public.
Go for it.
Whether or not how confident am I? Oh, actually, probably okay. 9 plus 1 plus 3. And that's me taking my penalty already.
Okay.
So yeah, no, we're probably fine.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
The way I see it is, Avon doesn't think she is, but she is.
Okay.
Like you think you think everyone can tell that you're a phony, but everyone actually in the party is feeling a little bit, for some reason, feeling a little bit better about their current situation than they had. Maybe not noticeably, but it's definitely there.
Oh, I was thinking more for the town people.
Oh, I know.
But
But you're also affecting your party members. Like you're kind of at the front of this group, and you're leading this cart into the town.
Yay, morale!
Yeah.
As we're approaching the town, does it look? You said it was pretty well defended. Does it look like it's defended against what we saw, or defended against common stuff? Like, do I look at it and actually think, yeah, they could take on that thing?
You look at it and you think, yeah, they could probably not take on that thing. It's like it's stone and wood barricades, but you feel like given enough force, such as what that thing can create, it could probably like punch through it within given enough time. Sure, they could probably kill it, but it's gonna take some shit down with it.
Oh shoot! I just remembered that Tresco and Cedric are Tresco's the only one that saw it, isn't he?
Tresco's the only one that saw it and didn't get messed up about it. Cedric, I think, was too focused on getting into the circle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely did tell everyone. But yeah, you said I was the only one who actually saw it, which is good because I was drunk.
Yeah, you were drunk enough to where seeing it was just like, oh, it's just a really big one of the little ones. But it's a really, really, really big one of the little ones.
What do the passing caravan respond to us in any way?
They kind of look at you and they look at you, they see how like haggard you guys are. They kind of do that scoff because like right behind this caravan is like a squadron of like 20 soldiers, all marked with the Terkhén like sigil. Like they're prepared, they think.
Well, I guess the other question is, we've been traveling a decent amount of time. Do we keep going, or do we stop in the village? Avon says out loud.
I am all about stopping. I need to get more supplies, and we need to make sure that both these people back here with me are okay.
Shouldn't we be warning the village? I mean, unless, and I say this very loudly, so hopefully like one of the guards will hear, unless you know that those boys back there can actually handle that thing. Ha! Ha!
One of the guards kind of like looks back at you, and you kind of make eyes with him. He's really young, like he's probably 13 years old.
I salute with like the Vargal staff.
And he kind of like trails back, and he's like, and he turns around, kind of like walking with your cart. I'm assuming you guys are kind of going at more of a leisurely pace at this point.
We're going at a totally normal walking, entering a town speed.
Not gonna.
I don't need the attention of barreling into a city at its front gates with a crazed horse and cart. Like that's not what we're looking for.
And an insane man in the back.
Right.
We are trying to have a low profile on this one.
In direct opposition to that, who seems to be in charge of this military force?
Of that squadron? Probably the guy that's up at the front. He's astride another like big war stallion, decked in plate armor. It's shining and resplendent and annoying.
I feel like if we're going to give anyone a hard warning that they may not be prepared for what's out there, he's the one we need to tell.
That's probably true. But this guy's come back to talk to you if you want to talk to him.
When he walks up to the car,
Yeah.
since I was the one who made the comment, I'll kind of like lean over closer to him and be like, "Listen, kid, it's not a joke. Like, I know you think you can probably handle this, but really, you might want to reconsider and get your, your supervisor there to pay attention and take heed."
I mean, yeah, but this is all I got. If I don't do this, then my family's gonna starve. My whole family's hinging on this escort mission.
Were you paid up front?
No. Half now, half later.
Well, then it won't matter anyway.
Escort mission?
Bingo.
Been there. Oh.
Yeah, we gotta get this caravan out to the docks in Tog. So I signed on volunteer. We know that the forest is dangerous, but it can't be that bad, right?
At that, I go ahead and hop out of the cart, muttering to myself about fucking townies, and start jogging up to the lead horse guy.
All right, so you leave the kid in the dust, and you are jogging up to this group, and 3 or 4 of the soldiers notice you. The 2 that are directly behind the leader folk turn and they level their spears at you. What are you doing? Take it, you can just come up here whenever you want.
I do. Who's in charge here?
That would be me. And you are what? Filthy? Your name?
Tresco.
Tresco. Well, I'm assuming you're not from around here. I'm Lord Madrick Kindley.
Ugh.
Caleb.
I'm not anywhere near this. I'm just responding to that name.
Ugh.
And I do think that we'll be quite alright going through these forests. Look at my men. They're all top-notch. Except for that one who's... What is he doing? Get that man in line.
What's the biggest one of those things you've ever seen?
What things?
Walkers.
I mean, the walkers are just some little... What, they're dogs? They're nothing. They don't go onto the road. We'll be fine. Just need to pay attention. Be vigilant.
Do I get the impression that even the little ones we fought are bigger than he's used to?
No, the little ones are about the size of a bigger dog.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to try to convince him that there's bigger stuff out there. I don't know if I'm going to go full-on one the size of a mountain, but do you want me to roleplay that or roll it? Because either way, I feel like I'm going to sound like, okay. Last night, we were attacked by something our cart driver had never seen before, and he's made this trip dozens of times.
Okay.
It was big enough to blot out the stars directly in front of me.
Then he kind of makes a face at you, eyebrows rise, and you're not sure if he believes you or not, but you get the inclination that he is starting to take you seriously. He can kind of tell based on the way you're describing it that you're not just spinning a yarn.
I know you think this group is prepared, but I'm begging you to rethink that. Because unless you've got 20 coffins in the back of that cart, you're not ready.
And he looks back at his men. I mean, we could take the southern road, but that's gonna add it's gonna add weeks to our journey. This needs to get to Tolg. And you're getting the sense that there's something a little bit more going on here. More than just some merchant caravan.
Can, Avon hearing Tolg and having background in Tolg, I would like to see if there's anything I could pull
Go for it.
background-wise. I don't know if a roll is necessary there. I don't know what this is gonna be.
It's not.
Would this be my erudition, like education? Because I
gonna
was raised there.
I was just gonna let you roll and see what happened, but I was gonna tell you. What? You looked like you wanted to roll dice, so I was gonna let you roll dice.
I just didn't know, but I grew up there.
Yeah, you
I
did.
served the Lord and Lady there, so.
Yeah, and you know that there is a Church of the One God being founded and needs to, and you get the idea.
He's at Kingsley. He's not from here.
Yeah.
He's from the north, isn't he?
He is.
Or from the mainland,
He's from
or
he's a continental.
the continent.
He is a continental, and he's while he is dressed in the livery of Terkhén, beneath the livery you can see like a gold chain on which is a symbol of the one god, the snowflake-looking thing. And then, upon seeing that, you look at the soldiers, and they're all, except for that little kid, they all have that same pendant, and you get the sense that they are knights of the one god, paladins, if you will.
Oh no.
And while the man is willing to take you seriously, he does firmly believe that his faith will carry him through that forest. Just watching Ashley shake her head.
Oh.
Is anything... This would be a great moment for, the thing to show itself. Is there, looking toward the forest, is there any noise or ominous sound or anything that could maybe drive our point home?
That sounds like a great time for... I'll give me a luck roll.
Oh no.
What is a luck?
Maybe there's not a number, but basically a luck roll is just a regular D10. And some of you might have taken lucky or unlucky, and those things will modify those rolls.
I don't think I did.
So mine would just be, since I don't have anything relating to it, it would just be a D10.
It'd be a standard D10, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have unlucky. Let me see if I can find my thing really quick.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, because he has unlucky. He has the
Yeah.
reverse of it.
So he'll take a -1 penalty to anything I ask him to do luck roll wise.
I don't see anything, so my flat roll was a 7.
A 7, awesome. Yeah, so as you're talking to him and you're like, there is this thing, it is way bigger. There's not, you are not prepared, and he like believes you. Then like his kind of faith strengthens him, and he looks towards the forest, and just as he does, like this horrible gut-wrenching roar tears out across the valley, and it just gets carried on all these hills and echoes and reverberates and sounds even more terrifying. And all the men kind of, you can see their backs straighten, and their faces go pale. The little kid who's standing by your cart right now basically just dropped his shield and started running for a half second before he realized that he's supposed to be like this guard, and so he comes back and like very nervously picks back up his gear. And the guy that's the Lord Kenley, he looks at this out at the forest, looks back to Tresco, and says, "A few weeks is better than a lot of lives lost, and I'll just have to speak to the lady." And he does a hand gesture and turns the whole caravan around, and they start heading back into the city.
Yeah, at that moment where like the roar kind of topples over, I'm actually gonna like jump on top of the cart guy and try to cover his ears as close as possible, and just
Aw,
like loudly like talk over it as best I can.
you ruin all my fun.
And I was gonna say, right before the roar happened, I was still talking to the little kid, just been like, yeah, the guy in the cart behind me no longer has fingers. This is serious, kid.
You sound like a mom like telling the best like bedtime stories, like go to bed soon or your fingers will be gone.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do, just scare him shitless. So he doesn't go.
You better go back to bed, kid, or the peeler will get you.
Ew. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna add it in here as an NPC you have to run across.
But yeah, actually, that's a fun. Actually, a story my sister told her kids. It was if you didn't go to bed on time, a creature would come into your room and take your eyelids.
Ew. Anyway.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's bad. Anyway, back on topic.
Fucking nightmare.
Oh, another thing, really quick. Sorry, I don't have a luck anywhere on my character sheet, even for taking unlucky.
Yeah, I think it's just it's described in the unlucky thing.
Like, I took shy, I get a -1 relation.
Yeah. But I'll look into
Okay.
it. But I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it works. But I think the luck is a standard D10, and then if you have unlucky or lucky, it modifies it in one way, shape, or another.
I thought I had lucky for one of my things,
I thought you did too, but I don't know.
but I don't see it. But I know we had problems with the sheet with the age difference thing, so I know not everything's on the sheet that I have.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he leans in really close. He says, "I really need this money."
Avon goes over and she gives him. She has a little similar to the insignia that they have for their one god. She has one that's for the Tolg.
For Demorthine, you mean?
No, for Tolg, like
Oh,
the
oh,
Lord,
oh.
and like a
livery.
sigil,
A livery type thing.
a livery. And she puts it on him and basically tells him, just stay strong, kid. I know you need the money.
Well, this isn't gonna get me food.
But it could get him connections when he gets to the city.
Yeah, but I mean, they're turning around and going back. Oh, yeah, they're going the long way now. But yeah.
They're going the long way.
He's like, well, thank you. What's your name? And he's looking at Arlen and Avon. I bet we'll get there. You guys kind of split the. So yeah, he looks back and
Alright.
forth between you two, and he's like, so, who are you?
I'm Arlen.
Did you give him your name, Avon?
No, I said it wasn't important,
Oh.
and I kept walking away.
She's Avon.
Bitch.
Avon turns around and she's like, she shushes you.
You're ruining my
I'm
moment.
smiling so big.
You're ruining my dramatic moment.
How is my cart dweller?
He's you covered his ears so he didn't freak out too bad, but like he stiffened and froze for a moment, and then the moment that roar died out, he started mumbling a bunch of gibberish again.
Okay, good. I was worried he's gonna start thrashing at me, and I'm like, I can't take physical damage.
Oh yeah, that's something else you guys need to deal with. Is Tresco took 5 points of damage.
I'll get to him in a minute.
I'm fine. And I reach up because I realized that my I realized that where I got hit on the side just was like a whole slice down the side of my face. So I say I'm fine while kind of pressing my ear back onto the side of my head because it kind of got nailed and like it's flopping around now.
Ew. Gross. That isn't how we described it.
I couldn't remember, so I just went with something tame.
It just bit you.
You said tame? That's awful.
That's not tame at all. Oh man. I was thinking it like kind of maybe bit your side or something like that, but if you want it to
I like the ear.
lop off your ear, go for it. So yeah, your ear's got like a good like slice out of it, and it's barely hanging on.
That's gonna be so hard to heal.
Yeah, it's gonna be stitches.
Well, actually, on that note, is there a Demorthine temple or anything in this town that might give extra healing?
No.
Dang.
The only people capable of magical healing are people who follow the one god.
Dang it.
Oh, cool. Well, in related news, so when you said they're heading
I
back,
converted.
Praise be to the one, right?
His ear suddenly
praise be the
reattached.
one.
His ear suddenly reattaches.
Praise be to the one.
Tresco.
So when you said they're heading back into the city, they're heading back in to walk through and exit on the other side,
The
or they're
southern
heading
side.
back in. Okay. I thought they were going to help defend the city, and I'm gonna now try to convince them to do that.
You don't have any inclination that the beast is coming to the city, but the city does occasionally is known for getting attacked by a few fiends here and there, but nothing drastic. But if you do want to prepare them, the person to talk to is not him.
Cool. Then I will. That's my next goal, is to talk to the king of town or whatever.
The lady. What?
The lady of the land.
The lady of the land. All right.
Sure.
So yeah, they you guys are probably going at a pretty good pace compared to them. So you actually they turn around and like you're already like most of the way to the city, and they're following behind you. The kid has decided to kind of like walk with you, and he's asking you guys to like regale him with stories. Mostly you, Arlen, because you're obviously a Varigal, and he's just like, and he like you kind of get this impression that he's that kid that's like, when I grow up, I want to be a Varigal, you know. And he tells you his name is Egan.
I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Egan?
Egan.
Not to be confused with Eakin.
I know. I rolled.
I really love
I
that
randomized it.
all of our names are like right on top of each other of being really eerily close.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how that worked out. Yeah. But he's got like every time you tell him even if it's the dullest story you know, Arlen, he's like bright-eyed about it. Like it is the most exhilarating experience he's ever had.
I do it on purpose. Like, I try and think of the dullest stories I can just to see what happens.
Like one time I walked.
I walked for 5 minutes to this old lady's house. And oh, when I got there, she answered the door.
Just what we needed. A puppy. I say probably a little too loudly in the middle of one of the stories.
He doesn't even notice you. He's too enthralled by this story about walking to an old lady's house and knocking on a door. Yeah, so you guys make your way into the town. And the town inside, like, you thought, like, there wasn't a lot of people, so you might have gotten the impression that this town isn't very populated. When you get in, it is a happening place. There's just people everywhere. Like all sorts of different ethnicities. You see some Continentals for sure. Clerics kind of wandering around doing their business, and you know, general city-like mayhem. Go for it.
I hand the reins to Tresco. I say, "You're driving," and I hop off the side to go ply my wares and make some coin.
Okay.
I think I had left the cart.
Yeah, you left.
I hand my reins to someone, and I hop off.
Am I the only one in the cart?
No, Arlen's in the cart.
Oh, thank God.
Arlen's busy talking. I hand my reins straight to... No, I'll hand them to whoever takes them of you two. I just hold them back
You just
and
throw them in the
kind of
air and
jump
jump off.
off the side.
Eakin kind of disappears into this crowd, looking for a good place to ply his wares. And
I guess I'll
Tris,
catch up with him later.
yeah,
I guess.
you assume. You guys
Do
didn't really
my
even set up
best.
any kind of like meeting point or anything.
He'll find the cart.
How hard can it be to find a bunch of strangers rolling into a town like this? You know.
What are you doing?
Right. So, I figure that this is sort of my standard short cons where I go into a place and just need to make some coin. So you know, I have a few standards. Of course, the simplest one is just making bold proclamations about my capabilities to move things with magic, make things disappear and reappear, manipulate objects and all things, put on an actual show and put out, you know, collect tips and coin and like make small, you know, suggestions for people to put tips out, do that sort of thing. So that's like my go-to. That's my standard. Just I'm going to do a performance and get some coin.
Sounds good.
If that's
So-
not
Oh,
if that's not working well, I have a few backup cons that I can run. I
All
prefer not to use them because I feel morally gray about them, which I don't try to do. But if it comes to it, it'll come to it.
Sure. So yeah, you find yourself a pretty crowded, we'll call it an intersection. You get yourself a corner. Do you have a hat or something that you're putting collections in? Like maybe a
Yeah.
wooden bowl or something?
Oh, well, I have a set of 3 nearly identical wooden cups. I'll set out that those in like a little clump.
All right. So you've got those set out, and you shout, and some people are looking at you, but not a whole lot, but enough to come over, and you've got the start of a crowd.
Oh, and before I do this, of course, I go past a place with a trough for like horses.
Mhm.
I give myself a quick trough bath, not so I'm clean, but just so I'm like the perfect level of dirty where I'm intriguing but not gross.
Right. Gotcha.
So I slick my hair back and like get ready, you know?
All right, you are ready. You are standing there. You're grinning ear to ear. You've got 3 or 4 people looking at you. Other people are kind of like seeing you and walking on and leaving you alone. What do you do?
Fair ladies and gentlemen, there is more to this world than meets the eye. A deeper, truer magic. Magic unburdened by, here's a quick question. Scanning the crowd, do I think there are more people related to the, like, druidy magics or the one god? Like, what's the religious tone of this city?
It's a pretty fair mix, but you see more people who might be like in that transitionary period from the Demorthine to the
Okay.
One God.
Cool. Magic unburdened by archaic stones and so-called magiants. A magic that I have mastered. I have capabilities that none before me have ever held. I can manipulate objects with my mind, make things disappear, reappear. I just put on a big flourish there.
A bunch of
I
them
have
start yelling
cards
witch,
out.
and then they tie you to a post and burn you alive.
Cool, I guess I'm dead. Next character creation. See you later. Good thing I have 8 copies of character sheets written up.
They're all the same character, Ekin.
Yeah, Egan. No, Ekin again.
All right, so yeah, you have a deck of cards now?
Indeed, I have my tricks, the things I apply my trade with. In this case, I'll be using a deck of playing cards, and once I start earning coin, I'll do some coin tricks.
Okay.
And then if, like I said, I have a few cons if I need them. That'll involve other props that I have gathered. The other thing I'll use is I have a spool of thread, very fine thread that I will use on occasion for things that cards can't do on their own. Levitation tricks and the such. Standard street magician stuff.
All right. That sounds like you're pretty well prepared. So go ahead and give me a relatively easy check. Go. For
So
it.
I have one question.
Sure.
I have a discipline in street performance under my performance skill.
Correct.
What does that do, mechanic?
It adds. I think the discipline allows you to add to your roll. So what does it say your performance is?
My performance is 5 plus creativity of 5 plus 1 from my intuitive or my handsome. I don't know which. And then I have a discipline in street performance, but there's no like total written down.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and add another 1 to that for now until I figure out exactly what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
But I think what that means is so like it's a standard challenge, and basically since you're disciplined in that, it makes it an easy.
Okay.
So we'll go with that. And so yeah, so it is an easy roll for you. I think you can't even fail because it's a 5 plus 5, right?
And I rolled a Well, it's a 5 plus 5 plus 1 for a advantage, and I rolled a 10.
Oh, all
So
right.
I get a 21 plus the one from the discipline if we're doing it that way.
Yeah, so 21 is you beat the threshold by 13.
Yes.
So yeah, they're applauding, they're clapping. It was a rather astounding trick. They've never seen that thing before. They don't even know what they're looking at, and like a bunch of more
Because
people
it's real magic.
a bunch of people are approaching. A few are seeing you're continuing with these tricks, and they're throwing coin at you, in the cups and at you.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you do that, and some like town guard maybe see you. They give you a kind of a dirty, questioning look, and then they kind of fade like off into the crowd and disappear.
All right. I'll clean up pretty quick after that. I'll gather up the coin and thank everyone for their kindness. I'll move to a different crowded intersection, a few streets away, where I will show up, and I'm gonna run one of my cons, I think. I approach if I see a couple, like a young couple, walking together in like this marketplace. I'm going to approach them, sir, madam, are you enjoying the fine weather we are having? What a beautiful story. Like, I just greet them. I just go into conversation with them, whether they, like, it's immediate. They're in.
Yeah, they can't even, like, fit in a response, so they're just kind of, like, staring blankly at you.
And then, I care to try your hand at a game of luck and skill. Perhaps you can demonstrate your talents, sir, because you might best me, where so many have failed. And I pull out the cups and one of my smooth river stones.
He puffs out his chest like, this is easy, simple. All you must do is pay attention to what cup you're putting in. I've seen this before. This is easy. Nothing.
Perfect. So I'll, all right. Well, if you're so confident, perhaps you care to wager some coin.
Of course, why not? And he pulls out a string. It's got like 2 frost owls on it. He sets down a single frost owl. It's like, match it.
Did I get a frost owl in my previous tipping?
You have a frost owl worth of stuff, so yeah.
Okay, I will set that down as well next to it.
And here's like a pile of like mishmash of ember dowels and azure dowels.
Yeah.
So
I should actually clarify. Do I have enough where after this I could double that once?
Yes, you have 2 frost owls worth of ember dowels and azure dowels.
Okay. Perfect. Then I match it, and I let him win.
Okay.
And as soon as I just move the cups, I don't do anything fancy. It's a very simple one. I go a little faster at the end, get a little tricky, but nothing really difficult, so that it's pretty easy for him to win.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I was very, very good, very good. But of course. What game would it be if we didn't try to go double or nothing? And I set more coin on the table.
Oh, this is just a joke. And he sets down he kind of pushes that pile back into the play area. Says,
Perfect.
Yeah, he's like, all right, well, let's do this. This is easy. That's easy money.
All right, if I size him up, does he have more coin than is on that thread?
No, that's probably all he's got.
All right. I'm not gonna do my super move then. My power move.
Power play.
Yeah, so I'm gonna sleight of hand this motherfucker this time.
Okay.
I am going to make it impossible for him to follow, because by the time the cups have hit the table with the ball in them, the ball is gone. Like, I've taken it. It is not under any of the cups once we start this game.
All right.
And I go fast this time. I want it to be impossible for him to guess it right, even if there was a ball in play.
Fair enough. So this one, I'm gonna call it a complicated one.
Perfect.
So a 14 to beat.
I rolled a 6 plus my 12, so an 18.
All right, yeah, you managed to succeed. The ball is whisked up into your sleeve, and you just kind of keep going like nothing happened.
Perfect.
He points at one, you flip it, it's empty. He points at another. He's like, and he goes to tip it over. And
of course, I scoop them all away.
Yeah, you scoot them all away, and the ball
with the coin.
And the ball falls. The ball looks as if it fell out of the bottom of one of the cups, and so you're
of course.
Yeah, obviously. And he says, "No, honey, I'm sorry." And she starts to storm off. He's like, "Honey, wait, no, honey!" And he chases her down.
Little tip of the hat, and I make my way to the inn, a much wealthier man than I was before.
I'm gonna kind of look around. Whoever is left with me, is it Arlen and Avon?
Yeah.
Arlen, Avon, Tresco's there too for the moment. Sedgwick is still unconscious, and the gibbering Romaine is in the corner of the cart.
I'm going to kind of like announce to whoever is within earshot and maybe has coin, but like, I got robbed. I don't have any money, but I need more supplies.
I reach in my pocket. I'm like, I got infinite money, dude, and I like just hand out some cash to him.
Oh no. Alrighty. So yeah, you do that. And you guys need to probably secure lodging at this point if you're going to stay here, or are you going to keep going?
Well, I vote we definitely bunker down here for the night, especially because I need to go talk to whoever's in charge and let them know that their defenses ain't shit.
I'm gonna recommend that we try and find like the nearest hotel. That way we can still kind of maybe shout out to Ekin, like meet us at like the wooden stool or whatever.
Sure. Has anybody been here before?
I'm pretty well traveled, have I?
Nope. You're from the south.
I
I
don't
might.
Think I'm from this area because I went from the place that Micah and I are from, and I've been to the college. I don't know if I would have been through this area at all.
Yeah. You would have gone to. You would have come through Terkén to get to Tolg. So.
You and I both then, probably.
Yeah.
It's possible I've been through here.
It's very possible you've been through here. So those of you who even have the potential to have been here, give me an erudition roll or a travel roll, one or the other.
Avon rolls a 12.
Ooh.
I got the same.
Ooh.
I have to find my things to roll.
So yeah, Avon and Arlen, since Trist can't find his stuff.
I got 15.
Jesus, Trist. Okay, so Trist.
I'm a smart person.
So Trist knows where a relatively cheap inn that has pretty big rooms that you could possibly get a couple rooms and be able to fit all of you exists, whereas Avon and Arlen actually stayed at the same inn. It's a mediocre inn, but the prices are a little bit above average, but the food there is excellent.
I mean, this was the best shepherd's pie I have ever had. I'm still talking to the kid.
Oh yeah, no, Egan,
At this inn.
Egan's like, yeah, no, I go there all the time. That's the best place to go. I mean, come on. The shepherd pie at any other joint
Yeah.
is more like what is it? Ash. It tastes like ash and sawdust, you know.
Mm.
I kind of pop in.
Definitely.
I'm like, yeah, but at the Sneezing Philly, we can actually afford a room.
It is not named the Sneezing Philly.
I'm naming it the Sneezing Philly.
It is not named the Sneezing Philly.
It's
Well,
a
I mean-
cheap, gross hotel. It's the Sneezing
It
Philly.
is not the Sneezing Philly.
A-
Yeah.
Tresco
Avon-
has plenty of coin. So,
I guess I should note, the reason I'm flush right now is because I'm spending what I do have. I guess I won't have infinite cash until I turn in my bounty, but not being one to plan ahead, Tresco's just like all the money I do have. I'm just like, yeah, no, we could spend this all up. As soon as I turn this guy in, it is Cash City.
I'm telling you, Tresco, amazing shepherd's pie.
Yeah, so ultimately what it comes down to is Tresco's decision. He's paying. Sorry, Avon?
Avon, like this whole time, everyone's been talking, and she's like, actually, I don't think we should stay.
Why not?
I think we should keep moving for reasons. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, and also that tournament's coming up soon.
I mean, the timeline's not terrible. There are other reasons that I am.
Are you going to let me know so that I can take advantage of them? Or
Yes,
you just
I will go
just
to.
gonna...
I'll look at Avon and just kind of point back to Sedgwick and be like, I think a good rest might help him out, maybe.
I-
Shepherd's pie.
I use my current good hand to raise my injured arm and say, I second that.
You lift your injured arm with your uninjured arm.
Yes.
And his ear falls off for a brief moment.
God damn it, nobody move.
I dropped my ear. All right. So, okay. Let's talk about what everyone's doing, because I need to get it organized. Because you guys are splitting up a bit. So, are you staying? Or are you going?
I'm gonna kind of hopping into conversation directly at Avon and just Listen, I know we need to be certain places, but look at us. We didn't rest the night before. Some of us are haggard. One of us is falling apart, literally right now. We need to at least take a short rest while we're here. Also, I have no more supplies and a weird vial of blood.
That's true.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people here. A lot of people that I don't think we can trust.
And that's fine. We don't have to trust this many people. We can at least take a short rest, gather things, and then we can leave as soon as possible. Really quick, is there like a saying from mine and hers like hometown about like trusting people or anything like that?
Make one up.
Cool. I'll be like, you know what they say, wagon wheeling people. Because she doesn't know we're from the same place, so I'm just gonna say a random thing.
People.
You're welcome.
Is this the thing that I think I finally put together that we're from the same town?
Yes.
Maybe, but also you're just like, what the fuck?
This is the moment you realize. Wagon
Wait a
wheeling
minute.
people.
You.
I don't even look at her when I say it. It's like it slipped out by accident. Cause I was trying to be like, we can trust people for a short amount of time, but I'm like, wagon wheeling people. I'm sticking with it now. Fuck it. That's a saying.
You know what they say? Wagon wheeling people.
I hate everyone.
This is why you shouldn't let me name things.
No.
Actually, no. Let me name everything.
You know what they say? Wagon wheeling people. We gotta put our trust in you to name stuff sometimes. Because, you know, wagon wheeling people.
I look at Trist at that point. I'm like, what? What? I happen to travel with wagon wheeling people a lot. Okay, and they've never steered me wrong.
I'm on that page. I'm with you.
It's
I'm
really
saying they
ambiguous.
good people.
It is a really ambiguous saying.
Wagon wheeling people.
It really is.
The more you say it, the more it makes sense.
Avon puts together that we're from the same place, and I go, "You're that shit that bullied me when we were kids."
I look at it and I'm like, how can I bully anyone? Look at me. I mean, look at you, but look at me. Toss his hair.
It is legitimately interesting that he's a healer now to me.
So the inns that that I'm naming them, not the whatever the hell you called it, is
Sneezing Billy.
no, is the Half Moon Inn, which is the one with the Great Shepherd's Pie. They call it the Moon Pie.
The moon pie.
We're gonna get moon pies? Sweet.
And the one that Caleb has been to is called the Haggard Horse.
Why is that better?
Because I don't like yours.
I'm happy to cover us wherever we decide, and I'm feeling good. I like you guys. I toss Trist my money chain, and it's like I have got to talk to the mayor.
All right, so Tresco is going to. Sorry, go ahead.
I just imagine whenever he throws that at me, because I'm unlucky and not paying attention, he just smacks me in the face and knocks my glasses off.
Hey, you know what they say? Wagon wheeling people, and then I just wander off.
Did you take Tresco's bounty, actually?
I didn't say I did. However, earlier I pointed out that I would never go anywhere without him. Like, he's my most valuable possession.
Right.
So I think I have him on me. He's still tied up. I went ahead and took his gag down just so it's not awkward, but his feet are undone so he can walk. And I've just told him, don't go anywhere.
Why can't you just let me go? Sure you want to drag me out all this way?
Because I got a powerful need to keep eating over the next few months, and you are going to fund that.
I can just pay you, and you don't have to do this. My lads are probably right behind us anyway.
Got a reputation to keep, my friend.
What is one guy gonna do? I mean, you could just let me go, I'll give you some money, and we'll both be on our jolly ways, and maybe we'll never cross paths again, you know?
One guy would ruin my perfect record. That's what one guy would do.
Alright, well, when me lads find you, you'll regret it. And he just kind of gets somber.
Wouldn't be my first regret.
Alright. All right, so yeah, you're making your way towards the center of town. You might be able to even turn in Galente here, unless you want to turn him into Melwin. It's up to you.
I mean, the only reason would be if Melwin was my destination because that's where his bounty is. But if it's more of a universe, I'll ask. I'll ask what the bounty is here, and
Okay. Along your way, there is definitely guard posts with the bounty board inside of it. You see Galente there, and he's actually worth a little bit more here than he would be in Melwin. But Melwin is offering what it says. If you pull out your sheet. Oh wait, you can't read.
yeah, I elbow him and I play it off as a joke. I say, "See that? You see how much you're worth? How much does that say?"
Says I'm worth what? 35 frost owls. That's nothing.
35 frostals!
He's like, look, I can give you 50 frost owls if you just let me go.
You have 50 frostals on you right now?
My lads do, you know.
Alright. Come on.
Are you turning him in? Yeah. All right, so you turn him in. Get your 35 frost owls. It's like, all right. And then it just cuts to you leaving, like throwing your string of frost owls up and catching them, you know, it's a huge grin on your face.
We're in the money. We're in the money. I'm humming this world's version of that song.
And you make your way towards the center of town. So there's like a central palisade, basically, so an inner wall, and there is only one entrance into this, and so you approach that, and outside is a guard captain, and everyone's kind of like stopped. There's a whole line of people making their way in, and they're stopping them, searching them, asking what they're even here for, turning some people away if their reason isn't good enough, etc., etc.
I should have asked you this sooner. When I am introducing myself to authority figures and want to sound respectable, like, is there a bounty hunters guild? What would my most respectable title be?
Marshal, I think.
All right, yeah,
maybe,
Marshal Tresco.
That sounds a little too Western. Maybe we need to come up with something a little bit better. What do you got? Anyone got any thoughts for what a marshal of this world would sound like?
I'm not allowed to name anything anymore.
No, you're not. I've revoked those privileges.
Constable, agent, deputy, magistrate, or steward.
Steward. We're going steward. So steward sounds pretty good, and we'll call it this. We gotta get some Esteren flair going on here. So,
Justice Steward of the Realm, Tresco.
Okay, go with it.
So I walk right up to the guy, trying to look respectable and presentable. Say, Justice Steward of the Realm, Tresco. I need to see whoever's in charge around here.
Yeah. Hang on a second. And he like goes back to deal with this person, and they're like wailing about people going missing. And he's look, just hang on a sec. Just all right. And he like looks over. Troy, come over here. Take this lady. Get the description of what she's talking about here. And I'll deal with this guy. And he looks over and he's like, all right. So what do you need exactly?
I need to talk to whoever's in charge of the city's defenses.
Oh, all right. So you want a meeting with the High General, right? Sure. Yeah, that'll just happen overnight.
Oh well, thank you.
Oh well, thank you. Doesn't. And he's like, "You're serious, aren't you?"
Deadly.
All right. So what? Let's see. So what's the protocol on this? So what's your exact reason for needing to talk to him?
Have you ever seen one of the walkers in the forest?
I've heard of them. I know that they're not terribly dangerous. Well, they're dangerous, but they're not like. It's kind of one of those stay out of their territory, they leave you alone type deals.
Yeah, not anymore. That's why I need to talk to whoever's in charge around here.
Are you saying the fiends are like gathering again? Right? Because is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's like, all right, hang on. And he looks over another guard and like kind of taps his shoulder, has him take his place in the line. Follow me. And he starts walking off into the like a side door that leads into the wall.
I follow.
Yeah, and so you're following up this way. It's a pretty tight spiral, very close quarters, and you come into this hall that basically spans the top of the gate, right? And so you go back outside, crossing the gate, and he knocks on the door leading to this other parapet. He knocks on that. Here, enter, and you go in, and sitting behind this desk is like a grizzled, oldish man, but he's definitely got like that taut militia muscle, militaristic muscle. And he looks up. What are you doing? What can I do for you?
I'm not gonna mince words. Last night I saw a walker the size of 2 trees, a little bit bigger, and I need to talk to you about the woefully inadequate defenses you have here.
I mean, are woefully inaccurate. They've lasted long enough. I mean, right, whatever. I don't.
If you saw what I saw last night, you'd know that they're not gonna last.
All right, just give me a report. And yeah.
Cool. I let him know. I mean, that's the most I can do. I just couldn't let them not be aware that the dangers were gathering. The phrase that got me in here was that the fiends were gathering again, so I make a point of saying that the fiends are gathering again and see how he reacts.
All right, and he stiffens at that, and he writes down some like he has like a bunch of different slips, and he writes down different orders. He gestures for that guard to come over, and he hands them to him. He said, "Deliver these, get things done," and the guy runs off. All right, I appreciate you giving me this news. I hesitate to act on it, but I'm not willing to take the risk, given present circumstances. I mean, it can't be hurt to be more prepared than you need to be. What's your name again?
Tresco.
All right, Tresco. I appreciate it. So thanks. You have my thanks. Is there anything I can do for you?
No, I turn and kind of out into the sunset on my way out the door, and then I stop and pause and turn around suddenly because I dropped my earlobe again, and I ask him if there's anywhere in town I could go get patched up.
Yeah, actually, and he scrawls a note. He's like, take this to the physician, the infantry physician. Ask one of the guards to take you there. And he hands you that letter. Kind of does that. Like he can tell that you're kind of a soldier. I put that in very loose words. You have a soldier-like attitude towards things. He kind of clasps your shoulder. Gives you the nod. You know, Arlen, the nod. And the two deadweights are going to
Cool.
Which end?
I'm just gonna decide, like, if we can afford it, why not?
That's my next
Food sounds
destination.
great. I am a vegetarian, but whatever.
They have a vegetarian moon pie.
I will let you
Gross.
know this.
All right.
I'm like, oh, cool, great. I'm gonna check on the dude really quick and be like, you okay, buddy?
No, he is not okay. He is missing his fingers and is gibbering like a madman.
I meant emotionally. Physically, I am aware.
We'll get to him in a bit.
I was just gonna make a joke. I said, is there an emotional state for gibbering madness? Because, like...
I think it's just called gibbering madness.
Aiden's gonna kind of hang back to check on Cedric. Is he still out?
Yeah, he's still unconscious. He's breathing normally. You think maybe just because of his age that the paralytic might have been particularly effective. He's just breathing normally.
All right, so I will say that I took the reins
Okay.
when Ekin jumped off.
Yeah.
And the moment I was already heading to the Inn of Shepherd's Pie, just waiting for someone to like catch it and tell me not to go there, but no one has. So the wagon is going in that direction.
All right. Yeah. You arrived there within a really decent amount of time. You know exactly how to ply your way through this city. You actually pass through the market district, and Triss takes note of a couple apothecaries, but some of them you can actually tell right away are kind of hoaxy, and others are more grounded in actual herbalism. So yeah, you take note of those things while you're on your way to the Half Moon Inn. The Half Moon Inn is actually relatively empty. Barren, one might say. So, you guys go in, I'm assuming. You head in, and it's just empty. All there is the innkeep. He's standing behind the bar. And he looks absolutely miserable. And he's just like, come to my inn. Come on in here. I'm assuming you came for the moon pie.
Oh, I did.
And
I did.
And he
Please
sees you.
tell me you've got some.
And he sees Arlen, and his face kind of drops a bit. He's like, "You're not gonna get into another drunken brawl, are you?"
What?
At them, I just kind of turn and look at her.
No.
I feel like I recognize you. You're the one that started throwing fists at people because they're all like, "Oh, look, it's a girl. She can't hold her alcohol."
I did do that. I did. But, I mean, if you take a look around, there's no one here for me to really kick in the nuts, so you're safe.
Aye, fair enough. Beggars can't be choosers anyway. And he gestures you over. All right, make your mark, and he flips the book around and slides it towards you. You can have your choice of any room.
You are so sweet. Scribble our names down.
So is it literally bare? Like no one is
There's
here,
no one
or
in
are there
here.
just a few?
There is no one in here.
There's no one even in the check-in book.
Nope, it is
Okay.
vacant.
That is fine with me.
Yeah,
Important things to know.
things to take note of. All right, so top floor. Is that what you chose? Is that what you want?
I like the view.
Fair enough.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I'm
ask if
assuming-
there's a room on like the bottom floor available.
Yeah, because these rooms are the medium-sized room. They can probably fit about 2 people comfortably.
yeah. For the sake of the people who are incapacitated,
Yeah,
I don't want to drag them upstairs. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a room down here with Romaine.
Okay, so, all right. So Tristan and Romaine are rooming. Okay.
I will also get a ground floor with Sedgwick.
All right, Sedgwick and Avon, sorry. All right, then I guess you guys are gonna lump Eakin and Tresco together, right? Yep. And
Unless I need a room with my bounty.
oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yep. So you are actually.
And this is where I realize how big our group actually is.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable group. But don't worry, you'll start dying soon. Tresco and Bounty. And that leaves Eakin and Arlen. Arlen has the top floor, probably going to take her own room to herself, paying for it yourself, or making Tresco pay.
I mean, if Tresco's paying.
I tossed them all my money when I walked off.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
So top floor. And then Eakin gets his own room too?
I mean, Arlen will share a room with Eakin if there's 2 beds.
Okay. Yep, there's definitely 2 beds. All right.
Who knows if he'll even show up.
Right. So you have a total of 4 bedrooms. There we go. All right. So are you going to be needing food? Because they're going to have to put that order in so my wife can get cooking.
Yes. Yes, please. And a drink. But don't worry. I'll be good. I promise. I promise.
I'll hold you to that word. And he like kind of knocks on the door before he enters the kitchen because the kitchen is his wife's domain. He enters, you kind of hear some talking, and yeah, she starts cooking along. Arlen, sorry, real quick, did you have anything to deliver here in, forgot where we were, in Terkhén?
I do. I have 1 small letter. So after we get rooms established and food is cooking, I'm going to run off and do that.
All right, who's it to?
Is this where she lives? It is. Okay. So I don't tell any of you. I'm just like, I've got mail to deliver. I will meet you all back here.
All right.
See ya. So I go off the door to deliver a package, and my face flushes a little as I go out the door, and I'm smiling really big.
You go to this kind of obscure-looking house. It's kind of like mashed between some like apartment-ish building-looking things. It's kind of... It's like this weird mix of very well kept but very old, and so it's kind of still falling apart a bit. Yeah, and you knock on the door. And the door kind of cracks open, and like before you see anything, you just see like this like shock of red frizz hair kind of stick out the door, and then a pale older lady face kind of pops out, and she's got like this like one of her eyes is a little bit more dilated than the other. She looks a little loony. She's like, "Yes, can I help you?"
I have a letter for you.
Oh, it's Arlen. Hello. Come. I have something special for you today. And so
Do you?
I do. And so she like goes into the into her office and comes out, and in her hand is two bound books, and she sets them both down and says, "And I have a job for you."
Even better. And I have a letter from your nephew. Here, there it is. Tad says hello, and he's doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And she like just tosses the letter to the side. And she's like, so I need you to deliver this to Lady MacLear in Melwyn. And this
Lady
one is,
MacLear and Melwyn.
and this one is your payment. And she slides them across, and the title of the book is Where the Wild Ones Are. Yeah, so that's the title of this book, and it's got like this, it's like a luscious red velvet, like pressed red velvet binding. And she's like, I finally managed to convince the Magiantists to let me use their printing press. There's
Brilliant.
Yeah.
They should have let you a long time ago.
Yes, now I don't have to handwrite every single copy, and now business will be booming, and you, my little friend, are going to have quite a bit of job work to do.
Perfect. Excellent. Oh, I can't wait.
And now for your special present. And she like kind of like weirdly hobbles off into a room. She kicks at the wall, and like the secret panel opens up for no fucking reason. And she reaches in, she pulls out like a single slip of paper, folds it very carefully, carries it, like kind of waddles over to you again, and she says, it's a preview for the next one. Don't read it till you finish this one. And she like
Okay.
tucks it into the back of your book. And then she like waddles off and says, oh, and I took your advice, and I think you're going to like it.
Did you? Oh my gosh, you have no idea what that means to me.
Oh, nonsense. Nonsense. You're my favorite.
You're so brilliant already. I can't wait.
All right. So yeah, you leave. You got this huge grin. Your face is beet red.
Oh yeah. I'll probably sneak off to find a quiet place to myself to start skimming through real quick before I go back to the inn.
Yeah, about an hour. Arlen returns. Tresco makes his way back. He kind of shows up. He's like, I guess you kind of heard about like some weird people making their way towards this inn, and you figured out where they were.
I mean, I am a detective.
It's kind of your job. Yeah, and you make your way in, and they've already got a room set up for you. The horses are stabled and taken care of. Yeah.
Did I take that advice and go get patched up?
Yeah, your ear is now stitched on. It's cleaned, it's stitched, and you have healed a single point because healing works that way.
Yeah, can I still try to do my healing on him as well?
No, he can only get that kind of healing once a day, but he's going to continuously heal one a day as things progress. But yeah, basically in the future, if ever an injury occurs, you need to take care of it immediately, and that's when you can get the chance to get critical heals, we'll say. But ultimately, all you can do is keep it clean and keep his bandage like fresh and stuff for the next couple days while he heals.
Cool, then I come in. I look like I have stopped for a few drinks on my way to the inn. I buy everybody around. I buy myself around personally. I get some food. I am fucking flying.
Yep. All right. So
I asked the doctor if they had anything that would, really, get this binge on the move. No, you can cut that, I guess.
No, keep going.
And I asked the bartender, kind of assholishly, where people go to have fun around here, as I'm looking around his empty establishment.
And he says, well, I mean, if you want to, announce that you're buying rounds for people, you might be able to get me some business, and in which case I'll give you guys a discount on your rooms.
I hug him and run out into the street and start spreading my good news.
And before you guys know it, this inn is full of patrons.
Avon goes to her room and stays with Sedgwick and locks the door.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Arlen turns to the barkeep and grins.
Oh no, I don't like that look.
I'm assuming that while people were out and about, I went and gathered my supplies and stuff I needed.
Yes, of course.
Cool. So whenever I come back and the party's starting, I'm just gonna like sigh and just go directly into my room.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you go in there and you're with Romaine. Romaine is, you've got him tucked into the bed. He's asleep now, but he's like mumbling in his sleep. Yeah, he looks like he's physically he's healing, but mentally you're not sure if he's ever going to come back. Tresco no longer has his bounty to worry about.
Furthermore, when I showed up, I had obviously stopped by some store because I'm now wearing a just ridiculous, gaudy garment. Just something as ugly and expensive as possible. And I go and put my weapons and my armor under the bed in my room. And now I'm just partying it up.
Ready to party. All right. Yeah, so party ensues, gets crazy. And the next thing you know, you're all winding down, worn out.
Unless you were Avon, in which case you were always wound down, but you weren't really, because you're definitely wound up.
Yeah. So,
Ugh.
you guys do anything else before you go to sleep?
Yeah, not ready to let this go. I've heard word of a dice game down the street, so I am out the door. I glare at all of you. I'm like, you all are a disappointment, and I just want you to know that even though I'll always love you, that you're a disappointment to me. And I head out the door to go find this dice game I heard about.
All right.
Arlen is too drunk and cheers. He's like, yeah!
Egan walks into the bar whistling and swinging a string with some coins on it.
Yeah, boy!
Egan!
Oh, it looks like
Not
you
in
started
the room.
early. I need to catch up.
That
Well,
you
let's
do!
go, right?
Shepherd's pie!
Round one, Tresco.
Is there
I'm done
alcohol
rescuing.
in the shepherd's pie?
There is
No.
now!
I will join the festivities wholeheartedly. I do not spend a dime of the money I just made. And if the opportunity arises, I will absolutely swindle someone in poker.
All right.
Or a similar game, whatever the card game of choice is in this city.
There's some card games going on. Very low wagers though.
Yeah, sure. I don't need to make a killing. I swindle money when I see the opportunity.
Yeah.
Is
that makes sense. All right. And so that being that, Tresco has left at this point. He's off yelling about some dice game he's gonna go play. And he leaves, and we go to Avon. All right, so you're in your room, keeping an eye on Sedgwick, who's he kind of like, really, where am I? What's going on here?
I pat his shoulder and I'm like, calm down, Sedgwick. Everything's all right.
My head is killing me. What's going on here?
We made it to, the Half Moon Inn in Terkhén.
Oh, another shepherd's pie. Is there food and water? I feel so thirsty.
Okay, well, I will leave the room to get food and water for him.
All right.
I'm imagining I can sneak around the back wall while all the commotion is going on with the party. I don't want to have any part with this many strangers.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you absolutely managed to get some water and like a slice of shepherd's pie. You bring it back, and he wolfs it down, barely even like pausing for breath. All right, Carol. So we made it to the Half Moon Inn. How did we get there?
Eakin drove.
And we're alive. I guess that coward's good for something.
Running?
Yeah, I
I
says. Well, I'm glad we're not dead.
I would really like to see your shoulder though. I'm a little concerned about the wound itself because I know that Trist checked him and made sure he was all right physically, but I don't think he looked at the wound. I think I'm the only one that saw where he got hit.
Yeah, okay. You look at it, and it looks like it's
clotted and.
It's clotted. It's fighting off a mild infection. It looks a little inflamed.
Okay. I imagine I would have brought him a spiggling of alcohol, so I
Okay.
pour that on.
Girl, can you warn a man before you're gonna do something like that?
If you want to drink it, you gotta take it first.
Hey, tell me, Dad, are you done? Can I drink that now?
I pour most of it out onto the wound, and I give him about, like, the fourth of the bottom of it.
Oh,
I don't give him much, though.
You're so stingy. And he like tips it back in one fell swoop. He's like, "You did well, girl. Proud of you. That was probably your first real fight, wasn't it?
I don't know, was it? That's a good question. No?
Your first real fight with fiends, probably.
With fiends, yes.
You did really well. I'm proud of you, girl.
Those things are terrifying.
Aye, but I find once you face them the first time, they're a little easier the second, and even easier still the third.
I do have concerns about this town, and I want your permission to get out of here, possibly even tonight, under cover of night.
Well, it's safer to travel in a group, but if you're ready to leave, we got Morgana, so...
There's a whole troop from the Temple of the One God headed to Tulg.
Aye.
I don't like the air that I get off of them.
Aye, they're pretty stingy, stick-up-their-ass types, but I don't know that they're that bad. I mean, overall, they do help sometimes.
No, they... What if they know or work for the lady? The lady, Jessamine.
I see where this is going. And it's possible, but unlikely. The people of the One God don't tend to work for people. You know, it's more of a communion type deal, if I understand it correctly. That's not to say that your fears are unfounded. And did they notice you? Did they make eye contact with you?
One young boy from here in town who is working with them on their expedition knows my name, which I don't like. I wasn't given.
Aye. Well, if that's the case, we can try and convince the group to get on out of here. I'd rather travel in the group.
I tried. They're too worried about you and Romaine.
Well, I'm probably fine to travel on the road. I'd like a night's sleep, but I can manage, I suppose.
Alright.
But I think our best bet's probably leaving first thing in the morning. The horses do need to rest, and I know you want to get out of here, but just keep low. I don't know that they know that you're here. It's unlikely.
I'm not sleeping.
Well-
You don't get to be mad at me for not sleeping if you're gonna make me stay here all night. I get to sleep on the cart, and you will watch me. Deal.
And he looks at you, and you actually see like this look pass over his eyes of like concern for your well-being, and he says, shakes his head. Aye, it's a deal. You sleep in the cart. I'll keep an eye on you. And he says, you know, for being asleep, I don't really feel very well rested. And he
Falls back asleep.
kind of like starts to doze back off, and he says, once more, he says, I'm proud of you, girl. You did good. You did real good. And he falls asleep.
I will be staying up all night in the room with my sword, in the corner, with a view on all exits all night.
Yeah, so this is
I love playing a paranoid character.
This is like the second night in a row you've just pretty much stayed up. I mean, you got a little
I
bit
did sleep. I slept on the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm probably, if you'd like to give me some penalties on any rolls I have here in the next like 10 to 12 hours
Yeah.
for sleep deprivation,
Yeah,
I would completely understand.
until you get a full night's rest, I'm gonna have you take a -1 to any action as if you have your first bar of health removed.
Man, I really don't. I have to play this though.
You're
like,
doing great. You're fine. Yeah. So you stay up all night. Tristan and I. We're gonna go to our room. You're in the room, and you kind of feel pressure on your head, and it's like begging you to go to sleep.
Okay, cool. Real quick, so we're just gonna kind of bypass like whatever I bought at the marketplace.
Yeah, we're gonna hand wave that because you get your basic medical supplies unless you
I mean,
want
I got-
something specific.
I was actually gonna look for stuff to actually, since I recognize like paralysis and stuff, I wanted to get some herbs for like paralysis, sleep deprivation, and things like that. Also, anything that I can find that might help mental stability, just to try and help our cart wielder. But everything else beyond that, like typical healing remedy herbs and stuff like that.
Sure. Just make notes of all that stuff in your little notebook. that you're making, and
Will do.
yeah. There's not a whole lot you can do for his mental trauma. What you can do is like ease his tension, relax.
I'm pretty much looking for like sedation
Yeah,
at
you're-
this point,
you're-
just to kind of like calm his body.
Yeah, you're basically gonna put him on morphine equivalent.
Yes, demorphine.
Oh my god, demorphine. So yeah, you're putting him on a light sedative. It releases the tension in his body, but he's not gonna. It's such a low dosage that he won't build an immunity very quickly. It's just to kind of take the edge off of him. And
Okay, yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good. That's what I was aiming for.
cool. And so yeah, he's sitting there. He's still gibbering, but like it's very it's under his breath. He's not yelling anymore. But you're picking out the occasional word. None of it's making a lot of sense, but the words he's using are like, he keeps saying the word walker and coming and darkness and light and hope and darkness and light and death and life and darkness, life and darkness. And he's kind of like going through this kind of weird cadence. And-
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna take note of that. Like, I'm actually gonna take out my journal and quill and like write that down, just kind of really quick.
Yeah. And like you feel this crazy strong pressure on you that's just it's like it's exhausting you to the point of like you might fall asleep on your feet. And it's emanating, as far as you can tell, from him. And you kind of stumble back. Give me a complicated stamina roll.
Yeah, so I have to figure out where stamina is. Yeah, there it is. I see it. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Let me roll that real quick.
Okay.
That is a 9. Am I adding anything to it? Do I add my stamina to it?
Yeah, you add your stamina to it.
Oh, then 18 altogether.
18. Okay, so you managed to stave off that fatigue, but you kind of hear a voice in the back of your head, and it sounds like Romaine, come on, we need your message, Romaine. And then it kind of fades into nothing, and you back up, and you like hit your knees on the back of your bed. You sit down, and as you sit, and like a stronger pulse of that sleep hits you, and you pass out.
Oh boy.
So yeah, Tresco has left the building. Avon is in her room. Sedgwick is also in that room asleep. Where is everybody else heading?
Is this post party or is this during party?
This is post party.
I guess I'd just be in the room. I'd be in the room that I am rented for. I'm sharing with Arlen, right? That's the thing? Yeah.
You're
I'd
in
be
the room where it happens?
Apparently. The upstairs room. That's where I am.
So everyone's in the room except Tresco. Tresco's out and about, as I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my room, so.
Yeah. Tresco?
Yeah, I'm stumbling around. I've forgotten what exactly it was I left for, but I'm just I'm working my way through a very large
Downtown.
bottle of something, and just kind of enjoy. Occasionally, I look up at the stars and ponder the universe, and then I stop to pee. Just drunken silliness.
When you stop to pee, give me a perception check.
Fucking wasted 9. I forgot where perception is.
It's in your domains.
Good God. 8 plus 9.
So 17?
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, that's just enough to see based on being drunk. You see some shadows flitting along the walls, and then you turn around, and as you turn around, all you see is this like wooden club coming at you, and you are very promptly knocked unconscious.
Did I finish peeing before being knocked unconscious?
No, you continue to
Damn it.
pee on yourself. All right, and everybody back in the inn, I need everyone to give me stamina checks. Most of you have 10. If you were injured, you probably have a 9. So go ahead and give that to me.
Do I have to give you a stamina check too, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it just a roll then, or?
Yep, just a roll. Well, you have a stamina score. It's if you started injured, it's a 9. If you started
Oh.
normal, it's
And you just
Found
add that, like normal, you add that to your roll.
Yep.
All right, I got a 15.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Okay.
I got a 19.
All right.
Avon rolls a 16.
Okay. All of you are wherever you are, and you're standing there, and suddenly you get hit by this wave of nausea, like vertigo. Like the room kind of starts spinning. Your eyes get crazy heavy. Like all they want to do is shut, and all you want to do is sleep. And some of you make it to your beds, others do not, and they just kind of pass out on the floor. The next thing you know, all of you are sitting at this table, sitting across from everyone else. It's the five of you at this like round table. You're sitting there looking at each other, and you notice that everyone seems to have changed. They've aged or grown in some way, shape, or form. Avon is sitting there. She's got a couple scars on her face that weren't there before. Tresco, his ear has been completely, like, the one that had been sewn on, it's gone now. He's got a pretty vicious scar running from that ear down to his lip. And Arlen is, she's definitely haggard. She's seen a lot of things. She's definitely more weather-beaten than she was before. Eakin, of all of you, is actually doing fairly well. He looks like he's relatively clean, kind of, but his eyes are unsettling, darting around in such a way that if you were to look at them for too long, you feel like you're gonna fall into them. And then Trist is sitting there, back straight, looking kind of down his nose at everybody. Like he's got this kind of air of superiority about him. And over in the corner is Romain. He's pushed up against the wall, kind of rocking back and forth. His hands are clutched to his chest, and he's mumbling some things. And he says, he looks up at you and he says, "I think I'm dying. I think it's time we die. I think it's time for us all to die. I think we're coming. I think they're gonna die. I think we're gonna die. I think it's all time for us to die." And just as he's doing that, a soldier bursts into this room, and just as he does so, he says, "Sirs, they're coming." Shadows of Esteren and its logo are trademarks of Agate RPG in the U.S.A. and other countries. All Agate RPG characters and character names and the distinctive likenesses thereof are trademarks of Agate RPG. Content derived from Agate RPG publications is copyright 2012 Agate RPG. Agate RPG is a brand of Agate Editions. Please support the creators of this game. You can do so by going to portal.esteren.org/en, and you can also receive an email when they launch their next pre-order or Kickstarter by following the link below. You can also find a free download of Book 0 Prologue on drivethrurpg.com so you can get started with your friends immediately, and I highly recommend you do so. Prologue is amazing. It has 3 really well-written stories that are great ways to introduce your friends into the Shadows of Esteren universe. Highly recommended. Hey, did you enjoy the music? The game developers made that too. Do you want the music? The developers' Bandcamp has all of their music available for purchase if you're interested. As always, the link is in the description. I should probably also note that the opening song and the closing song were made in-house by Micah Westhoff, so if you wanted those, I'm almost certain we're going to make those available in some way, shape, or form. Support the show by rating us on your preferred podcast source and by following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where you can get all the latest Wastebin news as well as a look at the maps and other artsy stuff we use for sessions. All those links are below. And for those of you that want a little more, go and check out our Patreon. That link too is in the description. Thanks everyone, and see you next week.